My only caveat is I think probably I would say 95 to 98% full disclosure. I know of one or two things that I'm not sure should be in the public domain. But just as children survive the idea of the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus when they become adult, I think that tax-paying citizens are quite capable of accepting the new and broader reality that we live in a cosmos teeming with life of various sorts. The fact that some other civilizations are more advanced than we are may be humbling. And it exists, and it's being kept secret by the same vested interests who control our destiny. Who are these vested interests, and what are they up to? Well, Senator, you were talking about a military junta. In my opinion, that is true, but I have broadened and deepened the definition to cabal, and the cabal comprises members of the Three Sisters: the Council on Foreign Relations, the Bilderbergers, and the Trilateral Commission, the International Banking Cartel, the Oil Cartel, members of various intelligence organizations, and select members of the military junta, who together have become a shadow government of not only the United States, but of much of the Western world. The aim of the game is a world government comprising members of the cabal who are elected by no one and accountable to no one. And according to Mr. Rockefeller, the plan is well advanced. Does this help you to understand why our civil rights are being taken away from us? I say us, because Canada too is included in the grand plan.
Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today? I figured I'd say hi and welcome to the universe. Only in America, the people, well, I guess all over the world, y'all don't seem to realize that you're not by yourself in this universe. It's a whole bunch of us. You're only alone in your little heads, humans, only in your heads. I would just like to let y'all know that your governments are lying to you. All they do is just they want to keep you in your little ignorant hole so you can't figure out that you're not by yourself. You're not the only game in town. You're not so special. Stop being so ignorant. You got to come on and wake the hell up and realize that you're just one little species in a whole big universe full of a whole lot of other just crazy stuff, all kind of crazy stuff. We've been coming to y'all planet for a long time now. The only thing is, y'all just a little too crazy right now. Y'all kill each other over oil and all kind of minerals and just dumb stuff because it's all over the galaxy. But if you just get together and y'all figure out, y'all stop fighting over colors and religions and just all kind of silly, dumb stuff. Just wake the hell up. Come on, rejoin the galaxy, y'all. Come on. We all out here in the galaxy having all kind of fun, flying around, eating all kind of shrimps and steaks and all kind of just deliciousness all over the galaxy. And y'all stuck on your little ignorant planet, still playing national games, and y'all with your little governments and in your little groups. Y'all so stupid. But you know what? We still got hope for y'all. So we'll come every now and then, just kind of fly in your space and check on you, make sure y'all doing okay. And maybe one day, when y'all brains evolve a little further and you get past this idea that you need a government to tell you what to do, that y'all can rejoin us. Have some fun. Just, grow up a little bit. Grow up a little bit, stop, get out that. Hey, what's happening, people? Oh, my goodness. Did y'all see that? That's just crazy, man. What the hell? Oh, this is why you can't let people out the insane asylum. Oh, goodness. How's everybody doing today? Woo! boy, deep state just coming for us. Oh, they're trying to get me. I tried to post a video earlier in the deep state, the helicopters flying around. Wasn't nothing flying around. Wasn't nothing flying nowhere. It's just me being dumb. They're trying to fix probably they're just uploading some stuff to Windows and try to make sure they can watch everything I'm doing a little bit better. But anyway, I figure I'd come have a little fun. Come broadcasting to y'all. Guess where I'm at? Can anybody guess where I'm at? Y'all know, y'all have any idea where I'm at? I am in the head of the Sphinx. Yes, I know. I didn't say sphincter. I didn't say the head of no sphincter. Y'all cut that mess out. I'm in the head of the Sphinx. I bet you, did you know? Did you know that it's a hole in the head of the Sphinx? And that's where I'm at right now. Hold on, let me move out the way. You can see this brother right. Uh-oh, dang, I can't move out the way. That brother, okay, he's not, but, well, so, yeah, because we don't know nothing about Egypt, but it's a hole in the head. It's a hole in the back. And did you know that you cannot fly over the Sphinx? You can go down there all you want. You can take your drones and your airplanes. It's a no-fly zone. You can't fly over top of it. So we don't have very many pictures of the top of the Sphinx, but we got a couple here and there. Let me see, I can show you. Some people don't believe there ain't no hole in the head of the Sphinx, because if it was a hole in the head of the Sphinx, they'd have told us. Our government tell us everything. The Egyptian government, they don't have no reason to hide nothing. If they find ancient technology, they're going to share it with all of us. Hold on, let me show you something. Look at this. They done known for a long time. In fact, they even got pictures and videos of Zahi Hawass, the guy who like robbing the sites. You're working on the sites at nighttime, stealing everything out there, finding all the little UFOs and V-monitors and ancient technology. Because if you still think that we're the first ones on this planet that ever had some high technology, whether you think it's human beings or something else, some reptilian, if you think we the only thing, and we the first thing, and we the greatest thing, you need to go find somebody to hug. That's all. I'm just going to say you should find somebody to hug, because that's not how the world works. But anyway, there go a picture right there. You can see the head in the Sphinx. In fact, hold on, let me see if I got another one. All kind of fun pictures. There go the dude right there in the top of the head. And now, of course, nobody knows who put the hole in the top of the head of the Sphinx. It could have been the original builders. It could have been somebody else. Nobody knows. And in fact, hold on, we got pictures, we got old pictures. The first dude who found the Sphinx climbed up in the top of the head and they drew a picture. What's his name? Charter? I forgot his name. But anyway, they flew up there and they climbed up there, he drew a picture, they went in the head. So we know that going back, goodness, I forgot the date on that. Anybody? 1798. So we know going back 1798, the head was there. Zahi wasn't born there, so he couldn't rob nothing. It's somebody else. Y'all don't know who Zahi is. Zahi Hawass is the cat. Hold on, I got a picture. Okay, I got a picture of him going in the back. Hold on. This is the cat that he's the one who always is acting like he Indiana Jones. He's always trying to help us and dig up and give us the truth about Egypt. He's the guy. He always, when we were a kid, we watching like, oh, wow, real? You know, and the teacher would give you the textbook, show you all the great things in Egypt. And come to find out he's lying the whole time. He's just lying. He's just lying. Robbing. He got fired. Because what did he get fired for? He got fired because, I forgot what he got fired for, but he got caught stealing. You know, he was implicated in robbing some of the sites. And of course, so he's still there working. So y'all know how corrupt the Egypt government, but that's how it works. Every government all over the world, 1%. Anyway, how's everybody doing today? This is the weekend crazy video where I get to talk about crazy stuff. I get to just have some fun, get the NSA off my back, CIA, FBI, everybody just, you know, because listen, he crazy. He believe in some UFOs and aliens and stuff. They can leave me the hell alone. That's why you can't get too serious with these people. But this way I can have some fun. So if you're looking for something that is well thought out and methodical and all of that great stuff, this is not the video for you. This is just where I have a little discussion on the weekend with some of my closest internet friends. And they showed me all kind of crazy stuff. And they're like, you crazy? Is that happening? Like, really? You know? And so this is where they educate me as to all of the stuff I don't know about ancient archaeology and UFOs and all that stuff. So if If you're looking for some sort of politics to talk about, this is not the video. You want to talk about, I don't know if we get into the deep state. We might touch the deep state a little bit, but this is where stuff, and I'm not going to convince you I know what I'm talking about. I just look at stuff and I say, look, you know what? Something don't look right. Oh, Sister Patty said, you're in a hole. I'm in a hole. You know, I saw a movie last night. Oh my gosh, it was so funny. Y'all should go to the theater and see, what's the name of that movie? Downsizing. You should watch. Patty, there's a part in the movie where there's this girl from Vietnam, and so I don't want to give away the plot. But anyway, at a point in the movie, she said, I can't say it because if I say it the way she says it, y'all gonna say it's racism, so I can't say it the way she said it. I'm just gonna say, watch the movie, and he went down in a hole, and she was talking about him going down in a hole, because this is where the movie where the sustainability thing that they do is they shrink human beings and they get everybody down to about 12 inches. But it was hilarious. You have to watch it. It was a good movie. It was a really good movie. But yeah, I'm down in a hole. This is the hole in the head. Hey, Diane, how you doing? Hey, Gretchen. I'm sorry, I didn't greet everybody. What's up, Buddha? How you doing this weekend? Brother Mark up in the house. Gretchen and Lynn. Mike, big brother Mike Mendoza in the house. All right. Do we got a quorum? Let me see. We got Sandra and BK and Travis and Jasmine. Hey, Jazz. Jennifer, Sandra. This is like my shout out part. This is why I act crazy. And this is why the deep state they're looking at. Oh, Lord. Yeah, he nuts. No, we're not going to get him saying nothing in this one. We just, all right, let's go watch somebody saying something. Barbara and everybody. Okay. Brother Ron and Gabriel. Okay. I think we got enough people talk about some crazy stuff. So I'm in a hole. So no, I didn't know that. I'm sure y'all knew. I didn't know the Sphinx had a hole in his head. And I thought, okay, well, you know, that just must have been some robbers. But the hole's been here for a long time. So that gets me back to Edgar Casey. I think about Edgar Casey. And if y'all don't know about Edgar Casey, he was the brother who, first of all, he did things that nobody could do. He knew things nobody should have known. And he had all these predictions. And one of his predictions was that you were going to find the Hall of Records underneath the paw, I think of the right or the left paw, under the Sphinx. And, you know, the first response, of course, back from Zahi and them, there ain't no holes under no Sphinx. Ain't no hole. Yeah, ain't no hole anywhere near the booty. Ain't no hole anywhere near the tail. Edgar Casey, it don't make no sense. Ain't no holes anywhere near the base of the Sphinx. And then, of course, they found a hole. They found a hole. And it was kind of interesting how they found it. He was lying, but it was interesting how they found it because there was an old worker. One of the workers who worked on the Sphinx said, no, there's a hole. Edgar Casey ain't lying. In fact, if you go look under the tail, right, close to where the anus of the Sphinx is, but it's always some anuses. I don't know why. But if you go close over there, move this brick, they moved the brick, and damn sure it was a hole, and they caught Zahi down in the hole. I think it's, hold on, let me see, where is it? Right? I got a picture right here. There go the hole right there. Not too far from the anus. It's a hole in the anus, and then there's a hole in the paw. And so the funny thing, the crazy thing, though, is, of course, they only admit to all of the holes in the chambers and all this stuff after somebody else says it. It was like the pyramid when they just found that recent big cavern. He said, oh, I knew him and his partner. He got a partner in crime. I forgot the partner in crime. I forgot his name. But anyway, so when Scan Pyramids found a hole, he said, oh, yeah, I knew it was a hole. It was a hole. Of course it was a hole. Well, come to find out, it's not only is a hole in the head of the Sphinx, a hole in the back of the Sphinx, but there are chambers underneath the Sphinx, just how Edgar Casey predicted. And that not only are there chambers undergoing inside the Sphinx, but there are paths and tunnels that connect the Sphinx to the pyramid that he's not talking about. So, you know, and so the funny thing is, it's kind of like the Perry-Reese map. I'm going to talk about the Perry-Reese map a little later. The Perry-Reese map, where is it? I don't want to talk about Perry-Reese. But so the thing is that you had all of these people who were like going inside the pyramid and they're finding all this stuff. They're going inside the Sphinx and they were quiet about it because they were grave robbed. They were robbers. They didn't robbed all the stuff, but they knew all these chambers were here.
and they find the maps and they slowly release the stuff, but the authorities only admit up to it when somebody does the whistleblowing. It's kind of like America Egypt style. You don't know something till a regular person, a commoner says it, and then the 1% admit, oh yeah, there's something here. And what do I suspect? You know my theory. My theory is they don't want anybody to know what's in any of these things because the kings always hide their technology with them. And if there was a king who actually ever interfaced with some aliens or some ancient human beings going back in time machines, whatever they're doing, the last thing that king would do is allow people to keep that technology. He would take it and be buried in the tomb with him. And so I think, you know, when you look at the theories of how the pyramids were made and how they cut all these granite blocks and all this doing stuff that we can barely do today, I suspect that they had a little technology that nobody knew about. So, y'all see Lynn. Lynn is crazy. Lynn, you just like me. Lynn said there was a pyramid, there was a Sphinx butt plug. they removed the butt plug, and Zowie climbed in the butt. All right. I'm gonna try to be a little serious. I'm gonna try to be. No, Sandra, it's not class time. I know. I hear it's not class. This is not a class. I am, if anything, I'm just listening to y'all because y'all. First of all, y'all funny as all hell, and two, you can't look at all this stuff without going crazy. Because I look at all this stuff by myself sometimes on the weekend. I'm like, oh my God, like this is crazy. They got all this technology. They're not sharing it with nobody. People dying all over the world. And I start flipping out and stuff. And it's like, how did everybody, there's so much to know. If you don't like spit it out and like share it with people who kind of open-minded like you know, you feel crazy. That's how they get you, girl. They make you feel crazy. So this is how I can come talk about this stuff on the weekend so I don't feel crazy. Otherwise, I'd probably jump off. No, I didn't say that. I didn't, nope. The Facebook AI tried to come get me, called 911 for me. He said jump, crazy, something. He gonna commit suicide. No. That's why I post a video every day laughing like anything. Like, I'm happy. If they ever say, if I end up with a hole in my head, and oh, he committed suicide. He ain't committed suicide. I want y'all to say, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. He lying. That was the funniest. Well, he wasn't funny. He was probably corny as all hell, but that was the corniest hell guy I ever knew. Always laughing. He ain't committing no suicide. So anyway. Hey, Brother Mike. Yeah, no, I'm not down a rabbit hole. But I did look at a couple things that kind of disturbed me today. I looked at a couple things. I kind of share a few things, and Brother Travis said in archaeology classes during college, they're pretty, they're pretty controlling of facts. You know what? I was watching a lecture earlier, Travis, and that's what they were talking about. They were talking about how in the schools, you have to, follow like the understandings of the Egypt government, right? You have to go along with Zahi and what he's talking about. And they teach that, and they teach the crazy stuff where they took the brass saws and they got 1 millimeter an hour and they actually carved, what is it, 8 sides to every single block for the whole pyramid, all 2.5 million blocks. And I'm just sitting here thinking like, oh my gosh. But I guess it's like any other industry, and you can tell us, Travis, but I'm sure it's like any other industry. You have to go along with the BS. And if you don't go along with the BS, then there's no way you'll ever come to any form of accreditation in that industry. So I assume it's probably the same way. So let me see. So, oh no, y'all, y'all going? No, I'm not going back to the butt plug. Stop it. Sister Patty said the first king of Egypt was Marduk, the son of Enki. Ooh, see, Patty, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about, what's his name? Zechariah. You're talking about Zechariah Sitchin and the Anunnaki and Enki. You know what? I kind of believe a lot of that. If y'all haven't looked into Zechariah Sitchin, y'all should. It's pretty deep. I think it ties into a lot. I like how he approached it and he tied it to some of the ancient texts and even the Bible, the Old Testament. Like, it was really interesting. But hold on. You know what? I was only going to kind of talk about the Sphinx. So I was excited to see that the Sphinx had all these chambers that we know nothing about. And they connect to the pyramid. And these are like things that we need to be demanding to know more about. We don't know anything about them because obviously whatever they're finding, they don't want to share it with us. In terms of some other interesting things about the Sphinx, of course, y'all know that it's old. You know that it's a site that they say was built far before the pyramids because of the eroding on the walls around it. And so they know it was there during floods and rainfalls. And so I think the minimum, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the minimum the Sphinx could be was something like 12,000 years old. But in reality, they think it's a lot older than that because it would take a long time for that erosion to happen. So the beginnings of what it could be is somewhere around 12,000 years back when there was a lot of rain in that area. And so I think it's all related. I think when we talk about like hidden technology, I think it's all related. I think that whether it's the pyramids, whether it's ancient archaeology around the world or some aliens, or ancient aliens, if y'all watch that show, I think it's related, whether it's UFOs and it's Area 51 and all of that. I gotta show you something. I gotta show you something. Can I show you something? Can I show you? I get all excited. I'm like a dog. I start wagging my tail. I think it's, can I show you something? Can I show you something? So I was looking at Nikola Tesla stuff, right? Hold on. Did you know that the FBI finally, they released everything? Well, that's a lie. They didn't release everything, but they released a lot of his documents. And they're published. If you go online and do a search for Nikola Tesla documents, FBI, you'll see them. And I was reading them this morning. I'm doing a little research, just kind of poking around because I was curious. Let me show you something. So Nikola Tesla died. If y'all are not familiar with Nikola, is everything you do is Nikola Tesla. All the electric motors, our cell signals, radio, everything is Nikola Tesla. So when he died, so prior to him dying, he was every month he wrote a letter to, I think it was J.P. Morgan. I think it was, correct me if I'm wrong, but he was the financier behind this electric tower he was building when he wanted to bring electricity. He felt that he actually could pull electricity out of the sky. And this relates to like ball lightning. And so he wanted to build the tower. J.P. Morgan realized that his intent was to give away free energy. J.P. Morgan wanted nothing to do with that. He wanted to meter electricity. So he wouldn't give Nikola Tesla the funds he needed to make free energy free. And so he wrote him a letter every month, pretty much begging him for the money. J.P. Morgan never gave it to him. He finally shut him down, destroyed the site. Nikola Tesla died. And within, I think, a day or two of him dying, the FBI went and grabbed, this was like 1943, if I'm not mistaken, and they grabbed all the documents. They grabbed all his research, all his notes, everything. And they held on to it for like 3 years, and then they released a lot of the stuff to the family. And because of a Freedom of Information Act request, they released the rest that now you can go online and you can actually download it. So I was out reading it. There are three large PDFs, I think it's a couple thousand documents, and you can go find them right on the FBI's website. Don't click nothing. Don't click nothing. You get over there. There was a little OK warning. It was like a little disclaimer, and I didn't want to click it, but I had to hit the OK button. I didn't have a choice. But don't click nothing. If you want to download something, don't do it. Don't do it. So, so the thing I found that was interesting, first of all, it was in this document. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of small on my screen. But in the document, it talks about a couple things I found highly interesting. First of all, why is the FBI heavily redacting Nikola Tesla's documents and his notes? What the hell is in them notes? And first of all, like, I understand you redacting your information, something you came up with. Why are they redacting what Nikola Tesla came up with? I mean, think about it like this. If Nikola Tesla was crazy and he couldn't do what he said he could do with the death ray and free energy and all the things he's talking about, why would they redact so much of his data? And this is not the worst document. This is nowhere near the worst document. This is just the one I found to be interesting, but heavily redacted, which tells you Nikola Tesla was definitely onto something. So that's not a conspiracy. When people start telling you about Nikola Tesla, listen, there's no conspiracy there. That man knew way too much than what he was supposed to. And like Edgar Casey, he said that he didn't know how he knew it. He said he would go to sleep and he would wake up or he would daydream, and magically in his head, designs and things would appear, and he would know how to solve certain problems. How did that happen? Hold on, I can do this. How did that happen? Let me show you how it happened. I'm having a little fun, y'all. Bear with me.
Well, see, what happens is when you go to sleep at night, we download into your brains information. So when we started the human race, what we needed a way to make y'all ignorant monkeys learn how to do certain things so you wouldn't kill yourself. So when you go to sleep at night, your pineal gland releases DMT, and that puts you in a dream state. And when you go into that dream state, that's when we download data. So we pick certain people like Edgar Casey and Nikola Tesla and a couple of them, and we download that data into your brain. And that's how we move it forward. Oh, and Einstein was another one of them things. And that's how we download the data. But what happens is your government, they put fluoride and chlorine in the water, and that blocks up your pineal gland so we can't download nothing to you, so you don't have no dreams later and you don't learn nothing. So what you want to do is start drinking all that chlorine and that fluoride in the water, screwing up your pineal gland so we can talk to you. Okay? That's what we need to do.
I ain't crazy. Yeah, okay, I am a little bit. So listen to the aliens, y'all. Y'all need to listen to the aliens. They ain't stupid. They know what they talking about. So that's a theory I heard in the lecture. Stop it. It's a theory. I hear these theories. I'm like, what? They download what? So, I don't drink chlorine. I don't drink water out the tap. I want to know what the hell is going on. Y'all need to download some data. Let me know, because I don't see no UFOs and no aliens, but I know people who do. Let me know what the hell is going on. Download some data. Tell me something. So anyway, so if you look at this document, it's kind of crazy because they're talking about stuff that's not supposed to be real, stuff that they were denying. This document that's heavily redacted is talking about Wright-Patterson. Wright-Patterson, you ever heard about it? It's talking about avionics. You ever heard of the avionics and aerospace and the things that they're talking about, the electromagnetic drives and the things that go back to not only what Nikola Tesla talked about, but Bob Lazar and Area 51. Crazy stuff. When things start linking together, there's a problem. Houston, we got a liar. Somebody's lying, and they are lying. So, but see, the other interesting thing I'll mention, but no, it talks about Wright-Patterson, and it talks about Foreign Technology Office and the other thing, all the things that these people who were crazy, the whistleblowers, that they were talking about. So it all links together. And when you get a quorum of human beings that worked on these secret projects, ancient people who were really smart, old people who knew stuff they weren't supposed to know, and an FBI that's hiding it, they're lying. They're lying. And so it's crazy to me. What are we talking about here? I'm sorry. I know this is a discussion. It's discussion format. We discuss it, and I'm talking. I wasn't looking at the comments. Hold on. Y'all laughing at that. Don't laugh at the alien. Don't laugh at them. We don't know what kind of powers they got. They can have crazy stuff. They can blow us up, kill us, shoot us, death ray, murder. They can do all kind of stuff. Don't laugh at the aliens, y'all. Take them seriously. Just listen to what the brother talk about. Patty said Tesla was an Anunnaki. He could have been. We don't know nothing. We just dumb. We silly, stupid, crazy. We don't know nothing. Could have been. Yeah, Tesla was phenomenal. I mean, he made our whole world, right, Sandra? I mean, everything. I mean, you think about electric motors, and everywhere there's an electric motor. Everything we do all day long has a damn electric motor, from your blender to your heaters to your everything in your house. Your car got various electric motors in it, your garage door. Like, he was a freaking genius. So, Sister Lynn, stop it. We're not going there. We're not talking about presidents. This is not the president conversation. And plus, that his identity politics. I want nobody. But the presidents, I don't think they're in the loops of this. I've been posting every night. I post something, and what I've been thinking about is like, because the presidents and the government and the politicians, half of them, I think they really don't know what the hell is going on. I think that they just get their money from their lobbyists, and they're not in the loop. Think about how crazy it is. Oh, I got a little burp. Sorry about that. It's tight down in the hole. It's a little tight. I can't spread. But think about how crazy it is that you can elect politicians to run your country. You can make them the commander in chief, but they actually don't know what's happening in these projects. There are minimum 12 known top secret classifications that are beyond all of the presidents. Think about that. I know you didn't vote for Trump. You're like, yeah, we don't want him knowing nothing. And I voted for Obama. You voted for Obama. Yeah, we want him knowing everything. And I'm just sitting back here like a logical person saying, this person is making decisions for the world and for our country. Congress is, Senate is. Y'all know that I'm not a cheerleader of any of them, but they need to know. A lot of you guys are. A lot of you guys voted for them, and they don't even get to know what these projects are, this redacted information they don't have access to. So it's crazy stuff. Okay. Whew. All right. So are we, can I move on? Let me see. We're still talking about, didn't Edgar Casey discover in his sleep, the universal archives and knowledge of in the Sphinx? Right, Brother Kevin? Yeah, that's what we were just talking about. I'm in the head of the Sphinx today. That's what we were talking. We were talking about how Edgar Casey mentioned that. He also talked about the, now I'm getting messed up. Was it Edgar Casey or Nostradamus? I think it was Edgar Casey who talked about the road to Atlantis would be found in, goodness, what is that island off of the coast of South America? The Bimini Road. And they found the Bimini Road. So like a lot of the things that he said actually came true. You know, no one guessed that there was a chamber underneath the paw of the Sphinx. And of course, they found it later. Oh, another funny thing about that. Hold on, let me get rid of this. Another funny thing about that is right here, the hole in the butt. And I think it was the butt in the Sphinx. When Zahi and his buddy went down there, there's a video on YouTube you can find. They talked about, I think it was Fox News that went down there with them, and they went into the chamber. But he basically said, yeah, we went down into the butt of the Sphinx. He didn't say that, but to me, that's funny, so I say it that way. We went in the anus of the Sphinx, the sphincter, and we spent 3 weeks, and we didn't find anything. And I'm sitting here thinking, as a kid, I used to crawl in holes all the time. Y'all, we actually went down in the damn sewer drain. We didn't spend no 3 weeks looking. If you spent 3 weeks in a hole in the Sphinx's anus, going all through his anal cavities and intestines and everything, you spent 3 weeks in there and you didn't find anything? How big? I think he slipped up when he said it. I'll pull up the video if y'all don't believe me, but I'll post it. That's what I'll do. I'll post it later. I'll post it in the comments. But they spent 3 weeks looking and they didn't find anything. Is it possibly because they spent 3 weeks going through all these chambers that are underneath? Now, mind you, I don't think they probably found tons of stuff. Probably the grave robbers found most of the things, but they had to find a few secret chambers and doors here and there. And so, interesting. I find that interesting. Military industrial technology is in charge, right? Which is why, Sandra, I think it's all related. It's all from top to bottom. They're hiding all this ancient technology. So, assuming that they found some stuff. Okay, we're gonna leave the Sphinx and something I wanted to talk about. I watched this. Oh, wait, let me show you. I know, I get all excited. Like I drink too much coffee. Hold on, let me remove some of these pictures so we can get over here. I watched this show. Y'all know I love the History Channel. The History Channel, y'all should watch it. It'll bless you. I know they get some fake news up there too, but for the most part, it's really interesting. And one of my favorite shows on the History Channel, which we're finally actually starting to get somewhere with in terms of research. Hold on, let me get rid of this last little picture. All right, here we go. Nope, dang, it's another one. All right, I'm gonna leave that one. Here we go. Do you know where this is? Have you ever seen this island before? Anybody know what that is? All right. That's a little place called Oak Island. There is a show on the History Channel. I think we're in our 3rd or 4th season now. It's called, it's not Drilling Down for Oak Island. It's called The Mystery of Oak Island, something like that. The Curse of Oak Island, I think it's called. So this was the proverbial treasure island. This was the place where they found map after map talking about the stuff was there. And so what's interesting, blows my mind about Oak Island is it is the what do they call it? It is the most expensive treasure hunt in the history of time, right? Because they've constantly been digging there, they've been drilling and drilling. Let me see if I can give you a picture, give you a little introduction. For those of y'all who don't watch crazy stuff, y'all gotta watch crazy stuff. Don't watch Fox News. Y'all need to watch crazy. Don't watch no CNN. So what they did is they dug in different areas, treasure hunters over the years, and they found at different levels, they found all different types of really interesting things. Like they would dig down in every, I think it was 10 or 20 feet, they would find platforms of oaks and they would dig deeper and deeper and deeper. And I think they got down to, what is that about? Oh, that's in meters. Dag nabbit. American public school education always screws me up. They do us feet. They messed us up. We need to go switch the meters. I don't even know how deep that is, but that's, do my math, about 27, they're about 30 meters. That's what, almost about 100 feet, 90 feet, something like that. They found that large stone that had writing that no one could recognize, and they kept digging deeper. They found gold. They found chain links. They found all different types of things. And so, and this was in the money pit. But all over the island, you know, they found different treasure chests. And so what's interesting about Oak Island, where they're at right now, oh no, that's Antarctica. We're gonna talk about Antarctica too. I like Antarctica. I think Sister Lynn sent me down that Antarctica rabbit hole, but where is a picture? So they've been finding coins all over the island. Great show. They've been finding Meridis and all different types of coins, proving that people were at the island. They'd have people come on the show and they speculate. Let me show you the brothers right here. They would speculate as to what was there. And one of the episodes that really interests me, they started talking about the Templars. And why do I find the Templars so interesting? Obviously because of the Ark of the Covenant, some other ancient technology. I know some of y'all hate religion. Y'all, my atheist friends, they don't believe in none of that stuff. I do. I don't think our ancients lied about anything. I think that if there was a box and if you touched it, that you died, turned to dust, I think that was just some old ancient technology, because we can do that today. Well, we can make something like that today. So I think it's all related. I think it's related back to maybe some of the technology used to build the pyramids and the stuff that they're digging out of there. So I think the Ark of the Covenant is real. I don't think that the Templars went all over the world trying to hide it for nothing. Now, I don't think it's in Africa. There's a church in Africa that says that they have it. I don't think they have it. So, and no one's found the Ark of the Covenant. So what was interesting is finally in this last episode, they found two fragments of bone about, I think we'll say it was 150 feet down. They were drilling in the money pit. They sent the two pieces of bone out for testing. And guess what happened? Guess what happened? The bones came back, testing back to, I want to say it was the 15th century. They dated back to the time of the Templars. One of the bones was European, and the other bone was of Middle Eastern descent. Not only that, and so when you start talking about the Templars and all the gold that they captured and the slaves they grabbed out of the Middle East, when, you know, y'all thought that these people were Christian and they went for a crusade because God told them to, that wasn't Christian. Wasn't none of that. Well, none of that. Nothing like no Christianity. Nothing in the Bible talk about nothing. None of that. That's what these are, murderous people going out to murder people. But they grabbed slaves all over the Middle East. They grabbed all types of riches and gold and everything. And one of the theories was that the Templars found places in America to hide, you know, those things. And so the fact that they found a person's bone in Nova Scotia in a hole in the ground 100 feet down of Middle Eastern descent is highly significant and linked possibly to the Templars. But not only that, they found a map. And this is why it's heating up. Y'all don't watch it. Y'all need to watch it. Y'all need to watch it. We need to know who the hell these people were, what they were up to. But the other thing they found, so that's a little Templar treasure. So they're finding treasure chests all over the island. There was a brother by the name of, oh goodness, Samuel Ball. Samuel Ball. Check this out. So Samuel Ball was a slave. I know we're doing a little history. I know. So Samuel Ball was a slave, and he fought in the American Revolution for the British. I know. That's why slavery is bad, because it make you do any damn thing, anything to get out of some slavery. And so he fought for the British, and so he was freed. So, and of course they lost, but he moved to Nova Scotia and bought a little plot of land. Bought a little plot of land on Oak Island. And he decided, I'm going to buy a little plot of land on Oak Island, and I'm going to be a cabbage farmer. Oh, I want to show you something. Let me see if I can find it. I'm going to be a cabbage farmer. And so he was so successful at growing cabbage. I can't show you. I was going to show you the different plots of land on Oak Island. I thought I had it. I don't have it. You can find them online. Anyway, see, he was such a successful cabbage planter, because the cabbage business was good back then, y'all. You can make a lot of money planting cabbage, that he bought up, I think it was almost 8 plots of land, and he paid 10 times the price for those plots of land on Oak Island as it would cost on the mainland. Why would somebody do that? Well, Samuel Ball died a very wealthy man, and was speculated was that he found treasure chests on Oak Island, which is why instead of buying land to farm cabbage on the mainland, he was constantly buying up plots on Oak Island, doing digging, looking for more and more treasure chests. So it was a very well documented case of there's all types of treasure out on that island. I wanted to show you the daggone map. There was a French map. I'm gonna mess it up. I'm gonna mess it up, but hopefully you'll watch the series and you'll correct me later. Somebody else who watches will correct me if I say something that's stupid. I think, is this it right here? So there was a ancient, not ancient, he was just old. I like to replace the word ancient with old. So there's Oak Island in Nova Scotia, and they found this map by, goodness, what was the guy's name? Samuel Champlain. So this was a French dude, and he was known as the father of New France. And he had a family member who married into, I want to say it's the Rochler family, something like that. I know I'm gonna totally mess it up. And the interesting thing, on the map he drew of Nova Scotia, where Oak Island was supposed to be, after he had a family member who married into a family that was known from France to be a part of the Templars, they completely did not put Oak Island on the map. They completely did not draw Oak Island on this map. Why would they not do that? So it's heating up, and I don't know what they're going to find. I think it's exciting, and I'm just talking about it because who in the hell had the technology in the 14th century to dig holes almost 200 feet down in the ground and bury treasure and thought they could go back and get the holes? Real deep, interesting stuff, crazy stuff. I don't know if y'all watch the show. You should watch the show. It'll bless you. And again, I think it all gets back, and it's just related to this fact that we don't know what the hell we are. We don't know how we got here. We don't know what we're related to. All we know is we got a whole bunch of religions that keep talking about that something created us. So that was deep, and I think y'all should start watching it because it's heating up now that they found the bone, and they now have, what else did they find? So they found coins. They did a drill down in the money pit, and they found a piece of chain link gold. They found a piece of parchment. They found that they got tested, and they think that it is a fragment from a book binding. And so there were theories that the Templars also had, who was it? Was it Shakespeare's old plays or something, original books or something like that? So it's heating up. Y'all should check it out. I want to talk about a few other things. Oh, I'm sorry. What are y'all talking about? I'm over here running my mouth. How about Iceland or Greenland? Any connection of Templars to Vikings? Sister Mary, you're hitting on some deep stuff. I mean, I did pay attention to the Vikings for a little bit, but I didn't see anything that connected the Vikings and the Templars. I know that the Vikings circumnavigated. You know, we found Vikings in the United States of America. You know, they found all types of people who weren't supposed to be here, red-headed folks who were, like 7 feet tall in a cave in, was that Colorado? Something like that. And all of a sudden, and they turned the bodies in, and the bodies they disappeared. Smithsonian, they got up. It's like, you know, we don't like it here in the Smithsonian. And the bodies walked out of the Smithsonian, so now they can't find the bodies. But I do remember that. Let me see, Brother Todd, what you talking about? What's going on, Brother Todd? No, Ethiopia doesn't have it. If they did, they would be prosperous. Yeah, well, you know what it is, Todd. I don't think they have it, but it's a church in Ethiopia, and they say they have it. They won't let anybody in to see it. Can't go and take no pictures or do anything, but they say they have it. And it was credible, and it was pretty deep because they found what was it? A sect of Christians in Ethiopia that they weren't supposed to be there. And they had like Templar cuttings in stone, the cross and the thing that they do. So they know that the Templars were there. They know people were there, but they don't. So it possibly could have been there at one time. And some of y'all Masons, I got Mason friends. Some of y'all Masons went down and picked it up. So, okay, Ethiopians, y'all done had it for a minute. We're going to take it over to Oak Island. So I find that to be real deep. All right, let me keep going. Antarctica. I'm talking about Antarctica. Somebody told me we should talk about Antarctica. So we're going to talk about Antarctica for a little bit. Antarctica. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I missed the question. Can I watch it online? I don't have a TV. Yes, you can go to History Channel and watch it. I think you have to have, I want to say that you probably have to have some sort of cable, some sort of account with cable. But YouTube, girl, go to YouTube. It's all illegal, but you can watch it. No, don't do that. The History Channel might watch it. Don't do that. Don't, Sandra, don't do that. Watch it. Pay, girl. Pay History Channel. Watch it. Otherwise, I get in trouble. I'm promoting their show, though, so they should leave me alone. I think that you probably can get like a month subscription. A lot of channels now, you can go online and get like a month subscription. But yeah, you can see episodes, but they have a lot of the videos and the clips, the tantalizing teasers and stuff. So you should check it out. Looks like I'm in a rabbit hole. Yeah, Jennifer, I'm in a rabbit hole. But it's the weekend. That's what I do on the weekend. Weekend, I go down into rabbit holes. This is where I go click the stuff, because when y'all send me stuff during the week, I click on it and I see like a big green head or something look like E.T. So I can't watch that. Because I get too excited and I want to know more about it because I don't, this is interesting to me. Why is it interesting to me? So I was on the fence about aliens and UFOs for a long time. Hey, Brother Joe, what's going on? I was on the fence for a long time. When I started believing in some aliens and UFOs is when they sent that question to the last administration, the Obama administration, was that like 2014, something like that, when y'all sent that and y'all said, do aliens exist? Y'all was being silly. And I went out to whitehouse.gov and I put my 2 cents in there. Damn it, I want to know. And when it got enough votes, then the White House was going to address it. So they addressed it. And the White House came back and said, if there are any aliens or UFOs, we have no evidence to that, to that thought process. They's lying. They's lying. I didn't believe it, but the minute they said that, I knew, you know what, y'all, we not alone. Aliens, oh my damn, what the hell I'm gonna do? I need to build a bunker or something. I ain't gonna build no bunker. I ain't gonna no holes. But that's when I knew they were real, because we got all this. When you got thousands of Americans who line up and say, this stuff is real, I done worked on the project, and they on their deathbeds, they're saying aliens are real and they're passing out and dying, because they don't want to avoid their little classified agreements that they sign with these black budget projects. And the minute that the White House says that they have no evidence, that means they're lying. And the only thing that's interesting to me is what people lie about. And I tell you why, because I'm a parent. I'm a parent. Every parent understands this one simple fact. When you come home and you've been away for hours and the kids look like they're guilty, been up to something, all you got to do is see what they're lying about. Anywhere they're lying, that's where you know you got to look. And so when your government, when they start lying, that's where you need to look. And so right now they're lying about all this alien stuff, releasing the F-18 videos and stuff. So that's why I think it's interesting. That's why I think something is there. So, okay, we're going to talk about Antarctica. Why is Antarctica so sexy and delicious right now? Because Antarctica is the only place on the planet that you can't go. Nope, can't go there. You want to go there? Nope, can't go. You can go there on the boat, the cruise line, and you ain't getting off the boat. And if you get off the boat, they're going to tell you where you can step. And if you go down there on research, you have to get it approved by multiple governments. And 9 times out of 10, you will not get approved. And so the real question, why can we not go to, what in the hell, hold on, let me switch. What in the hell is in Antarctica that we can't go? Why can't the regular commoners, the lords and the kings all got together and said, listen, these dumb commoners and serfs, they will not be going to Antarctica. And the question is why? And I don't think the answer is behind me. I don't think that's a pyramid. They got a lot of people who say that this pyramid's down there. I don't think that's a pyramid. I don't think so. I don't know, because y'all confuse me. Y'all say stuff and get me all in crazy land. I've seen pictures from Mars where they say these are Mars pyramids. But if you look at like the surrounding areas, like, see, I'm a skeptic. I'm gonna tell you right now. So y'all get in here like, he's on our team. He believes in aliens. I do, but I think most people lie, and I think people lie about aliens too. Everybody wants just to lie about stuff. Oh, did y'all see that? Look at that. See the hole opened up. Watch this. Ooh, see the holes open up in the pyramid. UFOs flying out. Look, it closed. The hole closed. Look, and the UFO flew out. How did I do that? That's what I think, because I think everybody's lying. I think you got extreme people in the government that lie about every damn thing. And then you got extreme people in UFO alien, and they lie about every damn thing. And I'm a skeptic. This is why I don't believe nobody. But I seen pictures of Mars where y'all said that these are pyramids on Mars. But if you look around Mars, you look all around that area, you'll find other geology that kind of looks like a pyramid. And so wind is a mother. The cocaine is a hell of a drug. Wind is a hell of a thing too. Wind can carve pyramids. So just gonna put that out there. Now, I'm not saying that there are no pyramids in Antarctica. We know now there are hundreds of pyramids all over this planet. Most of them haven't even been discovered yet. A lot of them in Egypt. Every single continent, they got a damn pyramid in Croatia now. Every continent has pyramids. And so the concept that there is a continent on this planet called Antarctica that does not have pyramids, that's not logical. That makes no sense. Whoever went around the planet building all this stuff, don't know why they built them, but they built an awful lot of pyramids. And the idea that they completely stayed away from Antarctica makes no sense. And that beckons the question, why can we not go to Antarctica? What the heck is in Antarctica that makes everybody stay out of it? And of course, yeah, Brother Todd mentioned the no-fly zone, right? So there's a no-fly zone. You can't fly over it. And when you're flying there, oh, if you ever want to look at something delicious, a delicious conspiracy theory. Remember, it's not a conspiracy theory. It's just when your government lies about everything, it's not conspiracy. It's just looking for motives. But look up Linda Moulton Howe, Antarctica. There was a pilot crew that went down there to fly. There was an emergency, and they went to fly an injured person out of this research station. And there's an area that you cannot fly over in Antarctica. And so they were hustling to get there. And as they were flying there, I guess the tower told them to divert around this hole, or I already said it, to divert around this area. And they didn't divert. They thought that, hey, this person's hurt. We got to get him out of here. They were dumb. They were like us. They're just regular people who think the world is good. Everybody's out here to help you. The government loves you. And so they were racing to get these injured people. And I don't want to mess the testimony up, so you can listen to it. But on the way there, they looked and they said, what in the hell is that? They were looking out the window, and the pilot and the crew, and so all of them saw it. They saw this massive hole in the ground. And I know my flat earthers, they're getting all happy. They're like, flat earth. And so they found this hole in the ground. And there were obvious tracks that they say went to this hole back and forth. Of tractors and different things, researchers going, something going back and forth, a trail, basically a road in the ice and snow that we were frequently going back and forth to this hole in the ground, massive hole in Antarctica. And so they went and they landed, they picked up the injured person, and they were flying back, and they were going to fly back over it, because they wanted to see it again. You know how we are, we get all excited about something, and the tower told them, you must divert. And so they got this guy who's dying, and they make the airplane divert around. And I think it added something like 20 minutes or something to the trip, life and death, because they didn't want them to fly over that hole again. crazy stuff. What the hell is in that hole? I've heard all kinds of theories. I'm not going to say most of them. I want y'all to think I'm crazy, but not that crazy. That's a little too crazy. There's a whole lot of theories of what's in that hole, but I beckon the question. What the heck is in Antarctica that still today regular people cannot go? And it's not science and it's not research. And so also another interesting thing, deliciousness. I'm talking about some more deliciousness. So Antarctica. So one of the things that if you look back at ancient times is kind of interesting is the Perry-Reese map. Y'all look up Perry-Reese map online, research it, it'll bless you. So the Perry-Reese map, this was a map that they found that actually, and I think it's Exhibit A on that sheet, but it actually documented what Antarctica looks like with no ice. And that warrants the question. And I believe this was from the 1400s. How did Perry-Reese know back then what Antarctica looked like with no ice? There were no satellites. There was no technology. Most of the known world didn't even know Antarctica was there. So what he did, looking at a little bit into the into how the map was created, he took various maps from all over the world and he put them together into this world map. From the, I think a lot of the maps actually were Arabian. They're Muslims and Arabs. The people y'all murdering, killing with all your drones and your dumb oil war. I know, went a little in the politic area. I'm sorry. I get annoyed when y'all kill people because we don't know what people know. Don't kill people. People, good people. You never know what somebody knows. And so he put this map together with all these various maps. I want to say it was like 20 maps almost, and Antarctica was one of them. So it's not that they knew in the 1400s that what Antarctica looked like with no ice. It meant that someone a long time before that had to know what Antarctica looked like with no ice and made a map of it. And so this gets back into the facts that we don't know how old humanity is. Like we don't know. We don't even know if it was humanity. We don't know. We don't know if there was something here before us. My reptilian friends probably getting excited. Reptilians, ant people, and that's possible. Who knows? I don't know. Crazy stuff. The other crazy thing is if you look at the map, it looks like it's very close to South America. And we know Antarctica actually was attached to South America. It was further north 25 million years ago. Think about that. 25 million years ago. 25, 32, 27. 35. Y'all know, what's that song? Who sang? Who sang that? That was Mike Epps. That was one of my favorite movies. I'm sorry. 25. All right, I'm being silly. So deliciousness, right? Antarctica. Why can't we go there? Another exhibit I'll put out there that I don't know any damn thing about that I want y'all to tell me about because y'all crazy as I am. Y'all still watching me. You crazy as I am. What in the hell? What the hell is that? Will somebody tell me that this is fake? I don't know what this is. I was looking online. And I'm pretty sure it's fake. I'm pretty sure it's a Photoshop, but I didn't see anything about it being debunked. What in the hell is that? It's got to be a Photoshop. Tell me that somebody didn't find something under there. So if you know anything about this picture, let me know. I don't think it's real, but I'm like, what the hell? Because WikiLeaks released this. It was on a page. WikiLeaks released this Antarctica pictures, right? John Podesta, y'all know John Podesta. He's a guy. He's a big UFO alien guy. He's the guy who was telling Hillary to make the statement that if she wins, she's going to let everybody know about the aliens, and she didn't win. But he's the one, he's been like pushing. He shows up on these alien shows and talks about how the government needs to release information. So anyway, WikiLeaks released the John Podesta emails, and in his emails, he had a whole bunch of Antarctica pictures and documents. And this was on a website that was talking about that. So I don't know if it's real. Some other thing I think is crazy. This is the other thing I think is crazy. I don't know if I showed this one to y'all. We talked about this stuff last week. But this was the hole. Another hole. Another hole. It's holes everywhere. It's a hole. It's just a hole in Antarctica. And this one's related to all this discussion about, again, the whole flat earth. There's a hole. Goes back to who was the brother who went down there after World War II? I know y'all know who I'm talking about. Yeah, because the Nazis were down there. Admiral Byrd, Operation High Jump, right? So after World War II, it was well known that the Nazis had bases in Antarctica. Now we know Hitler got away, and we know he was in Argentina, and it beckons the question, why the hell was he in Argentina? Possibly because they had bases in Antarctica. And it was suspected that they had high technology there, which is why the United States government, who don't do a damn thing unless they can make a lot of money and murder a lot of people doing it, sent aircraft carrier battleships down there in Operation High Jump to go get the Nazis and whatever secret technology they had, which is why they didn't give a damn if Hitler got away. They invested as much as they could to get that technology. And so they went there, and Admiral Byrd came back, and a lot of people died. And there was this, and I don't know if this was true. Tell me if this was true or not. But so if you look at Admiral Byrd, he apparently came back and he was talking about there was a big hole in the ground and that there were flying ships and there were things down there that weren't supposed to be there. I couldn't find anything officially that said that he said that. Operation High Jump was real, but him actually saying that stuff was flying around. I did catch the part where he did give the warning, where he came back and he said that, something to the effect of Antarctica is a threat to national security because a craft could fly from pole to pole and threaten the United States, something to that effect. So, all right, I'm off. Let's see what other deliciousness y'all talking about in crazy, crazy day. Gabrielle said, underground compound in Antarctica. That's where all the trillions of dollars keep disappearing for defense budget. We're paying for it. Oh, go on, girl. Go on. Call them out. Call them out, because that's where your tax money going. They're printing all the money in the world. They're working on high technology, which is what all these whistleblowers are saying. And this is why I'm not, I'm always in the middle on everything. Like I think the government lies about it. And I think maybe a lot of whistleblowers, they kind of put a little extra sauce on it. But when you got hundreds of them coming out saying that we have all this high technology, something is real in that. And so all that money, the idea we spend $22 million on the UFO lobby, I don't believe none of that. That's a lie. That's a lie, because I know people who worked on those projects. That's all a lie. I know I'm not getting nobody in trouble. Not gonna say nothing else. Rachel talking about multidimensional beings. It's some real stuff, if you believe it or not. And I think quantum physics agrees with you, girl. I think quantum physics, that's not I think, I'm a dummy, I don't know nothing, but quantum physics does agree with you that there are multiple dimensions, and we have no idea. These might not even be aliens from another planet. They could just be multidimensional creatures. You know what I think, girl? You know what I think? All of these ghost shows, all the ghost shows, and they got these devices and they're recording like there's something in the room. I believe it. It's something there. And it might be quantum physics, multidimensional related. I think probably every now and then there's just enough energy in a certain area, a certain room or something that allows you to see something phase from a slightly different dimension or something. And I think maybe they can't see us or we can't see them. But I think that might be real. I think it's very possible. And maybe there's like, when you look up people who see UFOs, maybe it's just like something that's happening in that area, some electromagnetic something dealing with the core of the earth, and you can actually phased and see something that either was there now or wasn't. I don't know. Crazy. Now you got me scared. Girl, stop it. Listen, I did something there. I did something there. I don't know what it is. Kind of scary when you think about it, but it's something there. People say I freak them out. So I shouldn't freak you out. You shouldn't be freaked out by none of this. Y'all, none of this should scare you, because, when you ever go in a room, and I used to work in corporate America, you know who the dumbest person in the room always was? It was a person who thought they knew everything. They were always the dumbest person. And that's why my boss always took me into a room. I was a geek. I was a nerd. All I did was study. He knew he could take me in a room. I didn't have a life. I was a nerd. I had a little pocket protector, a little ink stain and stuff. So he could take me to a room, and he knew that I knew what I was talking about. I was a technical manager. And so, but the dumbest, you always highlight the dumbest person in the room, and you just let them go ahead and talk, and then you go ahead and shut them down. But the dumbest people are the people who think they know it all. If you actually think that you know what's going on in this world, in this earth, in this universe, something is really wrong with you. Go look up online and look at those pictures. You know how they had the pictures? They say, this is the universe, and you're right here, and it's like this little dot. You can't even see it. The pixel's not even big enough to show the little earth. First of all, I always ask the question, who took that damn picture? And number two, if we are so insignificantly small, We are so small on that map. You know how stupid you sound saying that you know it all. I think it was Aristotle who said, the more you know, the more you learn, the more you realize how little you actually know. Find yourself some people who don't know nothing and stick to them. Trust me. People who know it all, stay away from them. Patty, what you talking about? Because they are alien reptilians. I don't know. Reptilian shapeshift. That's possible. Hey, I don't listen. I don't doubt nothing. I don't know nothing. I just sit back. Y'all send me pictures of Hillary Clinton eyes shifting and Trump eyes shifting, Obama eyes shifting. I just look at it like, oh, damn. And y'all still voting for these people? Do y'all look online? Go do a search for reptilian and politician before you vote for people, dummy. Y'all putting reptilians at the top of the government. What's wrong with y'all? No, I don't know. I don't know anything about that. Reptilians come from Zeta. I can't touch that one, girl. I don't know. Is Zeta a real place? It's probably could be. I don't know. Shape shifting could be done with holograms. Ooh, go on, Mary. And that makes sense. And this is why, okay, so y'all take me down a couple avenues a day. This is why I believe all religions are real. I think they are. Because I don't think ancient people are stupid and crazy. I think they documented what they saw, but they didn't know what it was. It's like when we go and we find these undiscovered tribes, right? And we fly in, the missionaries land on the airplane. They try to tell them about Jesus. You know, they, of course, the pagans, they call them pagans. They don't know nothing about no Jesus. They just know these people, they done came here, landed, and they flew in the sky, and they start worshiping them. So they're not looking at the Bible. They're just like, these people. And so I think the last one I saw was what? It was an Amazon tribe. And so the missionaries took off, flew away. And they came back like a month later and everybody was dead. And they had effigies of airplanes and whatever. And so they figured that the gods flew away in the airplane, in their spaceship, whatever, and just didn't come back. And I think it's the same way with religions. I think in past times, something was here. Something, that reminds me. I think in past times, something came here. And it kind of did some genetics with the dust of the earth and kind of made these little silly human things. And did y'all see the movie Prometheus? Y'all should see the movie. It'll bless you. Prometheus was off the hook. This was the dude right here. I posted a picture. I post stuff. I don't think y'all get it. I think sometimes I'm off in my head, my own little humor. It was a meme. This cat. So in the movie, he came here and they dropped him off and he landed by the waterfall. And his job was to go ahead and drink the black goo. And the black, y'all know, y'all, black goo. Hashtag black goo, black goo. Y'all watch too much X-Files. Stop it. He drank the black goo. And then his body just decayed and he fell in the waterfall. And this is how he gave his he gave his chromosomes to make humans and begin this whole microbiology process, humans being made from the dust of the earth. So you get all the religious ties and all of that. But I sit there and I wonder sometimes. I look at this dude and I'm like, you know what? Does he really know he's about to make something really retarded? I wonder if he drew the short straw or something. He got the short straw on the alien ship. Like, damn, I gotta go make some humans. Damn it. I hope this batch they don't come up with greed and money and so good movie. Y'all should watch that. Ah, my goodness. A whole bunch of stuff what are y'all talking about? Lynn said nerds rule. Yes, they do. Y'all find some nerds. That's what you want to. Young people, find yourself a nerd and get married to him. Don't worry about the fact that we walk a little funny and we trip over stuff and, we sometimes have these thick glasses. Don't worry about that. Money can fix that down the road. Get yourself and marry yourself a nerd. I'm trying to tell you, listen, you do not want. Find yourself a nerd. All right, let's see. Let's see. What are y'all talking about? Jennifer said, my ancestors have been traced back to English royalty. My grandfather was a Shriner, but that doesn't make me a shapeshifter. I always look like this. Okay. I asked that question. I think I asked the other day. People, they'll send me stuff. And I asked directly. I said, are you an alien? Because I don't know. I do kind of believe that there are aliens walking around among us. I think that there are people, there's a lot of good theories about why we're not adapted to the sun, something about, us being sunburned and, no matter what, and people say, oh, it's pigment. No, it's not pigment. That we're one of the only species under this sun that gets sunburned, that means that our skin evolved somewhere else in some sort of galaxy where the sun was less bright or a different spectrum, and this one keeps burning us. Interesting, crazy stuff. So I think that might be kind of true. I think that if some little kid came here and started a human colony on Earth for a science fair project and y'all call him God, I'm good with that. I suspect that it would come back every now and then and, do a little research, check some data, might abduct somebody every now and then, possibly, it could make some sense. And maybe it would make hybrids. Maybe it would walk among us. I think if that kid had a science fair project to make some humans on Earth, then he probably had to go to some other planets, and the other kids in the class, they all had to go to other planets of their own and make their little creatures and species. And so if we are like this daycare experiment, then I suspect the other people on other planets probably do look like us. So could they be walking among us? I think it's possible. That's why I ask people, are you alien? But don't ask it on the first date. That never goes well. I tried that a few times. It didn't. Oh gosh. Jennifer said it's supposed to be funny. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm sorry, Jennifer. Okay, just kidding, y'all. Jennifer is not a shapeshifter. I don't know when to take people seriously because I don't know what to believe. I live in a place, again, when I was a kid, my father worked at the Pentagon. He used to bring people home, just real savant type people. And there was this one cat who was in a wheelchair. And this began my whole something's wrong with this, what my teachers are telling me. And it was at Thanksgiving. He was a Christian dude. He always invited people to Thanksgiving. And so people he worked with, and some of the people he worked with worked on these black projects. And the guy told me, and I wasn't ready to listen at the time. I thought he was a crazy old man. We were talking about the Gulf War, and I was talking about how, we're going to go kick Saddam's butt. We're going to blah, 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 blah. I think I was 16 or 17. And this guy, by the end of the night, he pulled me aside, and he was like, look, I got to tell you something. He said, there are two realities. He said, there's a reality that's on TV that the general public is allowed to know, and there's a reality that the public is not allowed to know. He said that there are projects that are so decompartmentalized, none of us really know what's going on. But he said, I've worked on enough to know this. He said, do you watch Star Trek? I said, yeah, man, I watch Star Trek. I like Star Trek. He said, okay. And I'm making him sound cool. He wasn't cool, y'all. He wasn't cool at all. I'm sorry. He was a savant. This dude, he was super geek. And he said that, everything in Star Trek, and I'm messing up the quotes because this is a long time ago, but this is basically what he said to me. But he said, everything in Star Trek, he said, is real. He said, we've done it all, whether in a lab, on a micro scale or a macro scale. He said, we've done it all. And it blew me away. I was like, you're crazy. Anyway, I didn't pay no attention to him. But now that people dying and they're saying the same thing this dude said, and now the government says there ain't no aliens, that's how I know we ain't alone. So I don't know how I got there. All these stories in my head. So that's why I don't know what to believe, Jennifer. I don't know. I'm sorry. You're not a shapeshifter. I'm okay. When people say stuff, I don't know if they're being funny or they're being serious. I want to believe. I do. And I do believe, but I've never seen any of this stuff. Let me see. What else y'all talking about? Dustin said, in Prometheus, doesn't the guy in the beginning who drinks the black goo turn into an alien? No, because what happened, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but he drank the goo and he disintegrated. And then you saw all the and then he fell into the waterfall, and all the microbiology started percolating and dancing and having sex and turning into multicellular organisms. And so this was their way of kind of promoting this theory that the chromosomes we have that no other species on the planet have, that they came from some sort of thing that wasn't here. And so that was the beginning. But it was a good movie. It's a shame is they wanted to kill us later. Yeah, and then there was a second movie, but they wanted to kill us later. I don't blame them. This experiment went horribly bad. I'm pretty sure the teacher was like, nope, you got to get rid of the Earthlings. They're still fighting over oil. They're still fighting over race and color and religion. No, baby, you're gonna have to stop that experiment. No, you're gonna get an F. the human's gonna mess your grade up. She needed a 4.0. She probably got a D. But anyway, yeah, it was a great movie. Let me see. What are y'all talking about? See if I got something else we can talk about. Yeah, you know what? I wanted to watch the X-Files. I watched the first original 9 seasons, and then the 10th one came out last year, but you can't go watch it now online. I tried to watch it last night. I wanted to start back over episode 1, but you got to pay for it because I'm sure they're selling a DVD or something. So I got to start at episode 10, which really sucks. But that's it. Oh, look at this. I had this picture too. This is a picture of the side of that pyramid. I don't know. It looks like there was another crazy one. It was another crazy story. So there was and I think it was Lyndon Moulton Howe too. Lyndon Moulton Howe. I know I'm saying her name wrong, but she did an interview. She's one of these people. She used to be a journalist, and now she just interviews people talking about unknown stuff. And she'll like do the credential check to make sure this person is the person who they say they are. They did work for this segment in the military or whatever. So she does her research. But there was a guy who said that his father worked at a site where there was an underground pyramid in Antarctica, and that they found it because there was some sort of a heat source that was still working. And I think they were kind of alluding to like Atlantis type stuff or something. So I don't know. That's interesting. Oh, the other interesting thing about Antarctica is the Lake Vostok. Lake Vostok. That's interesting too. You ever get bored sometimes sitting on the pot? Because I know you got your cell phone on the pot. Don't lie. This is why you don't touch anybody's cell phone, because bacteria, all kind of E. coli and stuff, because they sit on the pot with them. You ever get bored sitting on the pot? Search for Lake Vostok. It's a lake that they found in Antarctica that is under something like a mile or 2 of ice, and it hasn't interfaced with the oxygen or the air in like millions of years. And so that's interesting alone. And the Russians have drilled down. They've taken samples out of the lake, bacteria, and they think that there's fish and things that live down there, like at the deepest parts of the ocean. But then there also is a theory, there was some unknown stuff where they said that they also found a heat source that was in the location on the same lake in a different spot. Interesting, crazy, but interesting. But again, so that beckons the question, why can't we go to Antarctica? Why? Anywhere you tell me I'm not supposed to go, that's where I'm gonna go. You know, when you were a kid, you were looking for your Christmas presents. You know where you look for your, the presents? You always look where your parents don't let you go, and the presents will always be there. My parents, they always hid the presents in my father's closet on the ground underneath the clothes. And so, damn it, I knew Christmas time, that's where you look. Anywhere your government tells you not to look, to tell you where you can't go, that's where the goodies are. I'm trying to tell you, anywhere you're not supposed to go. You're not supposed to go to your husband's job, that's where he cheating on you at. That's not funny. I know. But if your wife says she's working late and you can't go to her job because you don't have a badge to get in the office, always look where they don't want you to look. Let me see. Brother Carl, welcome to the house. Brother Carl, you always got something deep for me. What'd you say? If you want a massive encyclopedic dump of information about ETs and so-called UFOs, go to Gaia.com. Yes, you are right. I do not have a subscription, but the stuff that they show is delicious. Oh, then Brother Carl, you know about the aliens. Oh, tell me what's going on. Didn't they find, let me see if I can find that. Didn't they find the aliens with 3 fingers, the alien mummies, and on Gaia, they were supposed to be, let me see if I can find a picture of that. And they were supposed the aliens with 3-finger mummies, Gaia, alien mummies. Let me see if I can find. Tell me what happened, because I couldn't watch the show and they didn't release it like mainstream. Yeah, here it goes. Was this real? Because, and it reminds me of the Anticama aliens. Like they found the Anticama alien mummy. And I know who's it, Stephen Greer, Dr. Bassett, who was looking into that. Yeah, let me show you this. So this was and I saw this for you privileged people with Gaia. I saw this, on Facebook not too long ago. Let me show you this right here, right? Oh, no, that's not going to work that way. Hold on. It was on. Oh, nope, that's not going to work. Hold on. Work my technology. I want to know if anybody who has a Gaia account, were these really, really alien-looking mummies really aliens, or was it some bull? That's what I want to know. It looked like this. Hold on. Right here, these dudes. Y'all see? Did y'all see this? Did you see this, Carl? A couple of y'all got them Gaia accounts. Were these real? So supposedly someone found alien, or they found humanoid mummies, let's be fair, but they had 3 fingers. They had 3 fingers and they had 3 toes. Can y'all see that? Hold on. Right there. They had 3 fingers and 3 toes, and they were supposed to be researching them. But of course, y'all privileged Gaia people, y'all didn't want to share with the rest of us, so y'all never came back and told us, did they actually research these and find out that they're deformed humans, or there's some alien mummies? Like, was this real? Wait a minute. I don't think, yes. Okay, so they x-rayed them. Nephilim could be, possibly, Jennifer, because I guess back to the, biblically, what was that? The sons of light and the Nephilim, and that they were the hybrids, that the angels were actually breeding with the human beings. You see, I like how all these stories all relate. And this is why I'm saying this is real. Our ancients, they didn't sit around and just make stuff up. A lot of this stuff is based in truth, and religions probably formed out of it. But this idea, and then you look at the Egyptians, and you look at the Minotaur, and all these other cultures that talked about there were these different breeds of this, that, and the other. So it looks like they studied them, but I don't think anybody, looks like none of y'all watched it, huh? Okay, well, yeah, y'all don't want to share. They found out these were really some aliens, or just like something that wasn't true. So anyway, I'm not gonna spend too much time on that, but that was crazy. That was some crazy. That was the thing that on Gaia, that was the thing that almost made me get a subscription to it. My problem with it is I don't want to go buy a subscription for something that I'm not going to use, and I think I get tricked into stuff. I do. I'm gullible. Because I like to believe stuff, and I question it, but I'll get tricked into it, and I go in there and find out it's just a site where they're not telling any truth. So if you find out about that, please let me know. I want to know about the Gaia aliens. I don't know how much Gaia is, Lynn. I don't know. Brother Carl, maybe you can tell us what you pay for it. I don't know how much it is. What's Rebecca talking about? I worked on grant writing and before the Iraq War, and one thing you have to do to get a grant, you must explain what the money will accomplish. So I kept asking, how do we know we've accomplished what we have done? If you spend money, how do you know success or goals are reached? Well, that's a huge problem. I mean, that's like a big governmental problem. That's a problem with, we stop demanding success in anything. Like in law, in everything. We don't look for measurable results. We don't require that the war on drugs reduce drugs. We don't require that that the UFO lobby, what was it? Bigelow Aerospace, that they don't actually produce anything. So you get all these laws that extort money, tax dollars, for all these programs and projects, and they actually don't have to achieve anything. The war on cancer doesn't have to solve cancer. It just has to be a war on cancer. So this was crazy. I want somebody to tell me about, this thing got breastises. That's crazy, with 3 fingers. I'd love to know if this looks like it's all over the internet. So y'all been talking about this and no one told me. This is interesting. Oh, it's E.T. Look at this. It's E.T. They found E.T. It's E.T. Y'all didn't send E.T. home. Y'all killed him and put him in a hole. Okay, that's cold, man. That's cold. But so that's interesting. The other, I want to show you the anti-comma. What is it called? Is it anti-comma? The little alien. Y'all know the alien mummy? Is it the anti-comma? Anti-comma alien. This was another one that they scanned that had bones in it. This is a dangerous thing. You never know when you search online, you're on a live stream, you never know what's going to come up. So anyway, I'll wait to see. But the anti-comma was another one where they scanned, and I think it was Stanford University that actually tested it. So I'd love to see what came back on that one. And then there was an alien mummy. Ooh, something I asked a couple weeks ago, nobody answered for me. There was a South American government. There was a president who found an alien body, and because of it, it changed him, and he went to the United Nations and said, aliens are real. We need to look into this. And there were some United Nations act or order, whatever it's called, after the vote, that they were going to look into things. But then very shortly after, we invaded the country and overthrew him. America did. Well, the CIA funded, him being overthrown. So another little alien mummy story I thought was interesting. All right, this isn't coming up. So, hold on. Let me shrink this. Shrink it. All right, there we go. Get rid of that. Maybe we'll come back to doing some searches. What else is going on? Anyone else got anything deep, something that let me see. Brother Harvey, man, that was probably some Inca dude that toes and fingers fell off. Y'all are crazy. I know, poor guy. I know the poor guy he just frozen under the ice, and his fingers froze off, and now they got his body. Oh my gosh. Anything is possible. That's why I don't jump off any bridges for any of this. I laugh at it, but I want to see the research. I want stuff to come back so I can finally say, you know what, this is true. Enoch, yes, brother Enoch will bless you. Another story. Enoch was from the Bible. Y'all remember Old Testament? God came down and he got inside the flying craft with the fire and the wheels, and he flew up into space, and God showed him the universe and taught him things like mathematics and agriculture and everything. But that's not in your classic Bible. You got to go into the book of Enoch to get the real delicious stuff. I didn't read the whole book of Enoch, but the book of Enoch is deep. Again, don't fall into your little identity, storkism, birth lottery thing. Look at all religions, y'all. Look at all ancient texts. Look at it. It's all just data. And I don't think anybody ever got it all right. Of course, King James screwed up the Bible. But you got to look at all the details, because they're finding all these ancient cities in the Bibles. As much as you hate Christians, because the people who invaded the world said they were Christian, they're not. Ain't nothing Christian in them. But because they said they are, don't hate them and hate the book. It's a history book. Go back and read it. Deep stuff in there. Which reminds me, I was going to touch a little bit on. Oh, look at this. This was interesting. I like this picture here. This was the Antarctica. There's a little picture of Antarctica under the ice. How did they know what was under there? I think that was deep. A lot of the details, I think, of our ancient past was burned up in the Library of Alexandria. So I was posting about this morning, which is the first original book burning, right? Which is why universities cost money and they're not free, because if you control knowledge, then you control the people. People don't know who and what they are. No, if people don't know, it was weird. I had a thought this morning. If people don't know, I drank too much coffee. If people don't know what they are, you can tell them who they are. And I think that's one of the big problems in our world right now, because we don't know what we are. All of the details of our ancient past were burned up in the Library of Alexandria and other different places. In the Library of Alexandria, I never really knew this, but it actually was a university. It was a university. It was a place of study. They did surgeries, and there was medical knowledge. There was all types of stuff that they did there, and it was open source. So you could go there and you could literally just start pulling down scrolls, and there was something like tens of thousands of scrolls that all burned up in the Library of Alexandria. It was deep. And like when you went there, when a ship pulled into port, what they required, you couldn't pull into port unless you gave them all your scrolls and all your books. And what they did is the scribes would copy everything exactly and give you copies back. So you would get the copies, then you could leave the port, but they would keep the originals in the Library of Alexandria. And so it was the biggest store of human knowledge ever. And then Julius Caesar came in. I think it was Julius Caesar. I think it's still kind of debated who it was, but came in 1%, realized that there's stuff in there that make people smart, Nobody's smarter than me. I rule the world. Roman Empire is everything. Aliens aren't real. There's no ancient technology, and burn the whole thing to the ground, which is what the 1% always does, which is exactly why education costs. And there are no free colleges, not for the most part, because if you keep people detached from what they are and who they are, and you control the knowledge, you control them. If they don't know how great they are, you can make them really stupid. You can make them go to Charlottesville and fight other people over color, race, and some concrete statues. Think about that. Right, the bad people are getting rid of the books, which is, Lynn, that's how I look at it. It's a book burning, right? And that's what they're still doing today. They're keeping knowledge from kids. And I don't want to get into this, like my Monday through Friday type talks, but you know, when kids don't know what they are, they have no pride in themselves, and we don't truly know what we are. You aren't European, you aren't African, you aren't Middle Eastern. Like, that's like some real lineage, time challenge, thought process that's limiting on DNA and pretty much everything science. That is not what you are. And so they use that to tell you who you are. So this is who you are, and they put you in these little categories, and people fight over this dumb stuff. And we got to think bigger than that. We need to raise kids to be open-minded. We need schools to, like, the #1 classes in school. If you ask me, you want to fix this little crazy world we're in, so the aliens will stop trying to delete the science fair project? Put philosophy from elementary school. Put philosophy and critical thought as the highest, the most significant classes in school, and this whole world will be completely different when those kids graduate. Kids need critical thought, and they need the ability to determine what's false and what's true, and they need to have philosophy. Philosophy is so important. This is why people say, we need a revolution. No, we don't. We need a renaissance. That is our problem. We need a renaissance. We need an intellectual, philosophical renaissance. And if we actually do that and we put that in the kids, they won't have these problems, you know? So anyway, I don't get too much in my Monday through Friday stuff. I want to talk about some aliens and some crazy stuff, some unknown stuff. We got any more unknown stuff that y'all got in here? There are all of them in the Vatican, according to some theory. Oh, Sag, yes, Saba, I saw that this morning. I was watching a lecture, was talking about the Vatican. I know, it's like, yeah, why is he always watching lectures? I don't have a life. This is what I do, y'all. This is fun. So in the Vatican, it's crazy. They say that they somehow rescued a lot of the undamaged scrolls from the Library of Alexandria, and they're all in the Vatican, which is why you can't go and study. In order to study something in the Vatican, you have to submit a request through an accredited organization of education, and you already have to know that that subject is there, and you have to know that the document or the scroll exists. So you're not actually allowed to know what's in the Vatican. If it's something that's already there, you can request to see it, and it's something crazy like you go there and you can only request 3 documents. You sit there, and if it's the wrong document, you can't request another document that day. You got to come back the next day. So it's like this really crazy thing that's not based in research. It's really based in secrecy and hiding information. And anytime there's secrecy, it's because somebody's up to something. There's no secrecy when there's no reason not to have secrecy. That's why I know something crazy when it comes to the Vatican. And these people, they got some crazy stuff that they're hiding in there. So it would be really interesting to see if somehow you Catholic folks can involve your church a little bit. Oh man, it's getting dark here. I'm gonna try to add a little light to my face. Oh no, wrong way. Okay, there we go. That's better. Play with my technology. All right, what else, y'all? So the Vatican, I think that's another delicious. So y'all know something about the Vatican. Somebody knows something I don't know, send it to me. I'd love to spend a little time looking at what we don't know about the Vatican. Yeah, Nikki, that you said that still breaks your heart. You know what breaks my heart too? Is when you look at, I don't know why it is. I don't know why, but invading forces, they like to blow up statues. They like to destroy history. And it could be the whole 1% thing was, you know, Julius Caesar, whatever, but it disconnected us from our past. But there was one, I want to say there was an interesting site in South America. I want to say it was Guatemala. Maybe it was called the Guatemala Lady, I think it was called. and they found this statue. It was a face of this humongous lady. Of course, I'm going to spell Guatemala wrong. I don't spell. It's not my thing. That's why I went into computer science. There was a statue, and they took one picture of it. Let me see if I can find this. They took one picture. Nope. Oh, Lord. Don't type Guatemala lady. Oh, Lord. Oh, my goodness. Y'all nasty. I was doing a search, and I typed in Guatemala lady. Oh, my goodness. Oh, goodness. Y'all just nasty. I don't know how kids survive on the internet nowadays. I don't know how they get, degrees and go to school. We could never see this stuff. All right, Guatemala stone lady face. Let's try that. Oh, gosh. All we had was a Sears catalog. Oh, that was bad enough. Yeah, here you go. Hold on, let me show you this. Here you go. Where's my thing at? So, this is this it right here? I got too many windows open. Hold on, let me start to get rid of some of these windows. Right, here we go. Guatemala, I can show this one. Facebook will turn that off in a second if I so check this out. This is crazy. So they found this face, and that shows how big it is. But so it was a Guatemala lady face. What was interesting is it was in Guatemala, and it was not a Guatemalan face. Like, it was not like a Mayan, Incan, type of face. It was a European kind of face. White people! Anybody anybody that associates themselves with that community, that's fine. But it's funny, it's interesting. What was this person doing there? It makes me think of, what was that, Quetzalcoatl and the bearded, light-skinned person who showed up in South America. And so we know that people have been like exchanging all over the planet. They've been circumnavigating, but it was interesting. But the crazy thing, this is what I was talking about, Nikki. And so they went back to look at the face, and the army blew the face up. Like, they used it for target practice, and they blew it up. You had these statues. Another thing pissed me off. You have these statues all over South America, which were, what were they called? They're called the, I forgot the name of this culture. Anyway, they're all over South America, and they were very clearly of African descent. They had very deep African features. And so, but once again, they found a lot of them that were all drilled out and blown up, and because people do this all over the world. And that breaks my heart. We looked at ISIS and ISIL and what they were doing in blowing up sites in the places that they just were. Like, I watched it. I couldn't even watch a video, Nikki. I was so disturbed by it, watching ISIS blow up these statues. Like, this is our past. Like, it's crazy that people would destroy our connection to things that we don't even understand, that we need to know, we need to understand. Nora, did you hit it? Javier Perez de Collier was the Secretary General of the United Nations. He claimed that he was abducted by aliens. And it's funny, Nora, when you look at stuff like that, and people immediately are like, oh, he's crazy, it's crazy stuff. Most people believe in religions of aliens, which, if Jesus isn't an alien, if God's not an alien, Buddha and Allah, they're not some aliens, I don't know what they are. But all their stories have stories of this God thing taking people up in heaven and bringing them back. So if that's true, then abduction doesn't really bother me. Like, it must be no, that's not true. Stop it. It bothers me. I don't want to go nowhere. I don't want to go nowhere. I'm good. I'm happy on earth for right now. Unless y'all want to take me and show me something and bring me back and don't stick probes in my butt and my eyes and ears and stuff, then I'm good. Short of that, I don't want to be abducted. I want to be Enoch. Enoch, brother, we got your story. Love you to death. I don't need to be no Enoch. Yeah, but it hurts. I mean, the Vatican, if they release information, I mean, that would be fantastic. Like, imagine if, like, people could reconnect around the world on this stuff that we don't know. Like, to me, this is so important. It's so important to know what the heck we are, why we're here. Now that all these ancient cultures and all these religions are actually saying a lot of the same things. Now that we know the global flood was real. Y'all ever check out, what is that brother's name who looks at the global floods? Randall Carlson and someone else. They were on Joe Rogan. Great podcast where he was talking, where they were showing like all over the earth. Let me see if I can find this dude. I think it was Randall Carlson. And what he did was they looked all over the planet for evidence of a global flood, and they found evidence all over, like, and I think this is one of them right here, where he kind of showed that when you look at even from the Mississippi Delta to different places, that there were major signs of erosion to show that there actually was a global flood. That, you know, and whether it came from melting icial glaciers or not, it was, you know, it was this time when the whole world was flooded, and it goes back to the stories of Gilgamesh and Noah and all that stuff. But yeah, I think it was definitely Randall Carlson. I'm not seeing global flood erosion. I'll try that. But if you ever get bored on the potty with your cell phone, cell phone that you're not gonna get to me, you type in Randall Carlson, Joe Rogan. They did a great, phenomenal podcast just talking about it. But that a lot of the erosion all over North America in different places, that they were obvious erosion from torrents of water, and they carved out the rocks because of it. I want to see one that I recognize. There was one in the desert that they did. Oh, well, here's an aerial one where you can actually see like the channels where it's all dry in the lower right-hand corner, that those channels were carved out, you know, by floodwater. Massive floodwater that just eroded, you know, tremendously large swaths of land. But anyway, I mean, he did a lot of great research. Yeah, Graham Hancock, somebody said. Yeah, Graham Hancock. Graham is the man. But Graham will scare you, boy. That's the cat that took on Zahi Hawass. He was the one where he went to go talk to Zahi, and like he was hitting him with, you know, some truthful information that Zahi was lying. Zahi got mad and he stormed out. Randall Carlson he's a beast. His brother Harley said the Nazis in World War II stationed in Antarctica. There's definitely something mysterious there. Yeah, and I could have swore, didn't they find tanks? I thought that they went down there, the Nazis, Antarctica. I thought they went down there and they found tanks. Didn't they go down there and they found like remnants of bases that they told us about? But the Nazis were in Antarctica building bases. And of course, we're getting back to Indiana Jones. That's my childhood. Nazi Antarctica base. I thought that there were like frozen, destroyed tanks that were just eroded. And I thought I saw that a long time ago. Oh, look at this. This is delicious. This is awesome. Look at this. Check this one out. This was one where it was a modern picture of Antarctica, and what it shows were 3 tanks. If you can see 3 tanks, which why in the hell do we got tanks in Antarctica if it's just down there for some research? And they were deployed in a defensive position around this thing that appears to have crashed in Antarctica. Now, mind you, it could be an airplane. You know, we know that we've had saucers that the U.S. military's been working on, but I thought this was an interesting photo. There's a lot of like UFO type stuff about that out there too. Vatican's Illuminati. I don't know. Maybe, possibly. Vatican is Freemasonry. It could be. Hey, I'm good with all that. The Vatican hides the truth on flat Earth. Oh, Parker, coming with the flat. Are you a flat earther, Parker? You know, flat Earth is an interesting theory. It is. That's one that's hard for me to swallow. I swallow. That just don't sound right. I'm not gonna say that. Never mind. But it's possible. Me personally, I'm not a plausible flat earther. Like, I don't think it's plausible. I think it's possible. I think that I've never been in space, so I can't tell you nothing. Not that I know of. Not awake. Did I tell you something crazy? Oh goodness. I think I told y'all the Fitbit story. I won't say the Fitbit story again, but maybe I was in space. I wasn't awake though. I know nothing about it. NASA is a scam. Yeah, what they say NASA, sleepy, what they say NASA stands for? Never a straight answer. Because they're always lying about something. Oh, you know what? It was funny what NASA was doing. Y'all remember when NASA had the pictures of Mars trees? Did they ever? I was curious to see what happened. I think that they took pictures and they looked like trees on Mars. And yeah, these things. And I think this is the one they said, no, those aren't trees. That's not vegetation, that they were like oil slicks or some sort of a mineral that was slick going down a hill. And then they showed these pictures here, and it looked like they were petrified trees or something, and they had just fields and fields of them. But I think this one they never explained. And that's why NASA, they gave them that, they gave them the name Never a Straight Answer, and that they played around with the color in the NASA. Oh, wow, that's a new one. I've never seen this one. You know, but the idea that there are trees on Mars and they're just not being straight with us, that they're basically a scamming agency, and their whole intent is to kind of just lead us down avenues, that there's a secret space program that's going on, that you know, where they're using these electromagnetic drives, and they're flying all over Mars and different places, but they don't want, you know, the public to know the amount of technology that they have. That NASA is supposed to, like, NASA just goes along with the releasing of little bits and pieces here and there. It's a citizen scam, and that the rest of it. And who was the cat? The cat that the whistleblower, he hacked into the NASA machine, and he started downloading pictures, and he downloaded a manifesto or a fleet deployment troop listing that had like officers' names listed in their, you know, their ranks, and it talked about the ones that were terrestrial and extraterrestrial. What was that brother's name in the UK? You know, he finally got off. He finally got off because they were trying to extradite him to the United States after he hacked into the NASA computer. And what's his name? I know y'all know who I'm talking about. But you know, we were trying to get him. Britain wouldn't let him go, and eventually they just dropped the case. He was the one who said that, you know, he saw all this data on the NASA computer related to aliens and that crazy stuff. Lynn said she's not into flat Earth. I forgot the guy's name. Oh man, I can't remember his name. Nobody has been in space. The moon landing was faked by NASA and Disney. Sleepy said that. You know, I don't know, Sleepy. I don't know. I think it's plausible that didn't they go up and they took pictures of the moon landing? Didn't they go back? It wasn't with Hubble, it was with another satellite, and they took a picture of the moon, of the lander, the lander, right? Didn't they go back and take a picture of that? So I think I don't think. We know they lied. We know they lied about the moon landing. There was no question about that, right? Like, we know that they doctored photos, and they actually weren't the Hasselblad cameras, and they didn't have the viewfinder. So we know they doctored photos. We know they lied. But I don't see what was in the news. They had a picture of the landers, but that possibly we went later, and it was more of a secretive mission. It went back into the Brookings report where they talked about the reason that they faked it. Here it is right here. So they went back and so here's a picture of the lander. So they show that at some point in time we did go to we did go to the moon, but I don't know. It's too much lying. Like, that's the problem. We have a government that they lie about everything. So I don't, it's possible that we didn't go. I remember the rocket engineer, the one who designed the rocket, he came out and said, there's no way my rocket did not make it to the moon. If they went to the moon, they did not go to the moon on the rocket I designed. Like, there was no way. And that it was just this thing to start this race with with Russia to help collapse their economy. They were just basically starting an arms race in a race to the moon to try to get them to invest a lot of their money. So I don't know. Good question. My jury's out on that. Brother Joe sent me a book. Okay, I appreciate it. I have to look at the book. He said a book that talks about Antarctica and UFOs. I think it's interesting. I think there's something in Antarctica. Don't know what it is. Maybe it is Die Glocke. Maybe it is a German Nazi UFO. We know that we just robbed their technology all over Germany. So if they had something in Antarctica, I guarantee we would have went down there and took it too. Let me see. Lots of open-minded people on this stream. Great conversation. Gotta go. Peace out. Thank you, Jennifer, for hanging out. Yeah, there are. That's why I do this, because y'all don't make me feel crazy. Well, okay, y'all help me to not feel too crazy. Because I look at this stuff, like back when I was a kid, you couldn't talk about this stuff. If you believed in any of this stuff, you were a nut job. You couldn't talk about any of it. But now that the government is obvious that there's something there, now we can talk about it. So that's what I like. I like open-minded people, and that's why I got the friends that I do, who don't claim to know everything. Like, that's the awesome thing, is you can actually have open, honest discussions about anything. Gary McKinnon, yes, thank you, Tanya. Tanya's in the house. What's up, Tanya? Yeah, Gary McKinnon, that's right. Because the last thing I saw on him is they let him go. They let him, Gary McKinnon, right? Because this was the cat who whistle blew, but it was suspected that he withheld some information to get off the hook. It was suspected that he actually didn't say everything he saw so that he could negotiate to get off. And so magically, he's off. Now, we're not trying to extradite him anymore. So I thought that was interesting. Brother Todd is in the house. What's going on, Todd? Man, shoot. Anyway, Van Allen belt, ultimate shield to keep stuff out and keep stuff in. You know what? On the Van Allen belt, so that's interesting, Todd. I'm glad you said that. The thing that we have to think about is, so Elon Musk, did I say Musk? Yeah, Elon Musk, right. Next year, he's sending 2 people. Anybody's got some money. Anybody got a couple billion laying around that they want to go to the moon? He's going to send 2 people to fly around the moon next year. So we will find out if the Van Allen belt, well, maybe we won't. Maybe they'll lie about it. But we'll find out if we can get through the Van Allen belt. Like, that'll be the answer. But I think it was already proven, though, that we would not actually withstand that radiation in a tin can and some foil, like what the NASA ones went up on. So I know that something wasn't right. But the cool thing is, we'll find out next year. So what somebody should probably do, if you don't have any access to it, but if we actually find out what kind of protection Elon is building in the shuttles that he's sending around the moon with the people in it, that'll start to answer that question. Brother Harley, we need a podcast. Yeah, we do. We absolutely do. You know, at some point, I'm gonna start inviting people. If y'all ever want to come on and talk with me, hey, come on and talk with me. I think what I'll do is I'll set up Skype. If y'all want to call in, if you're scared, you don't show your face, you don't have to do that. I don't mind showing my face because I don't care. But if you want to come on and talk about some of the crazy stuff, maybe I'll do that. Just send me a message on my inbox and we can have a little discussions around that. My only rules, though, you know me, I'm an old cat. I don't do no cussing. So y'all don't come on the show cussing. Y'all can talk that way if you want to. I still got my indoctrination on that. I don't know. I got beat a little too much around. Pop, yeah, he threw too many of them, so I still got mine. You know, let's keep it above board. A lot of kids watch this, and I try to keep it above board. Let me see what else we got. Anyone else got anything crazy y'all want to talk about? Sleepy said, I think the only thing important about Antarctica is that they don't want the public finding out about the ice wall. And might be continents past. Oh, yeah, that's flat Earth. That's flat Earth, brother. Yeah, I don't know. Hey, when you said ice wall, I thought you were talking about Game of Thrones, but that's possible. So my position on flat Earth, is I don't know, but I won't be surprised. Like, I won't go as far as say I don't believe it. To me, I haven't seen enough evidence to say that it's plausible, but if it turns out to be true, it's not going to surprise me. Nothing surprises me. When you're in a time when your government lies about everything, anything's possible. I just sit back and I look at the news like, it's possible. Because when you don't know, it's good to say you don't know. So I don't know. Sandra said, this is what children in the future should be discussing in schools. I agree. I'm going to add to that. Every school should have an unknown subject, right? A subject, and maybe it just attaches with the philosophy classes, Sandra, where, you just sit there and talk about stuff that we simply don't know. Like imagine if we raised like a generation of kids where it was safe to talk about this stuff and come up with their own theories and motives. And like, that's what we need. If the human brain can rewire itself and be wired to think any way we want, which is what we know, we're wiring, like kids' brains are being wired right now in studies for using smartphones. Like, if you took us as kids and put us on a smartphone and the current kids, their brains are actually wired differently to interface with all these devices, and it's just off the hook. So I agree. If we actually had philosophy classes that allowed kids to talk about just wild, off-the-chart subjects, you would have so many more Teslas. You would have so many more Einsteins. You'd have so many more Edgar Caseys, because their minds would be designed and architected to allow for thought that's outside of the box. Totally agree, sister. That would be off the hook. But to do that, we got to take over our Department of Education, whatever it's called in your country. And unfortunately, people are still fighting over silly stuff. Let me see. What else we got? Let me see. Joey said, the earth is not flat. People will believe anything these days. Is sad. Yeah, you know, Joe, like I said, I don't know. I'm not in the Flat Earther Academy, but I don't try to talk down to people. You know, I'm pretty certain it's not, but like I said, everybody's lying. So, but what I do believe, I will something that makes sense. I don't know about the wall, but I think that I almost kind of sort of know, maybe sort of kind of, that there's a hole in Antarctica. Like, there's a hole down there. I don't think the American government would invest that amount of money in Operation High Jump to send a bunch of people down there for nothing. I think there is something there. I think there's a hole. I believe the guy on Linda Moulton Howe's research that the pilots actually saw something down there. I've heard flat Earth is an NSA diversion. Could be. I don't know. I have no idea. Sleepy said, raw vegan diet can cure diseases like diabetes and much more. Check into it. We don't need meat, dairy to survive. Sleepy, you and I on that. We were on that page. I am not a vegan, unfortunately, because I like cheese. I don't eat too much of it. And on occasion, you might catch me eating some ice cream. And on less of an occasion, you're actually going to catch that, because I have to disclose. So I'm a vegetarian, but I'll disclose this. So I hadn't been sick in 10 years, right? Since I stopped taking synthetic drugs, I went on a vegetarian diet. I try to eat as raw as possible. I hadn't been sick. I think I actually was sick about 2 weeks ago. I mean, the only symptom I had was a headache. And sometimes you feel a tickle in the back of your throat, but when you eat healthy, you don't get sick. You'll get like little minor symptoms. And so you know that there's a bug or something that's just trying to do something. But I ate. I see, don't ever go. I got Ben and Jerry's, y'all. So I hadn't eaten Ben and Jerry's in a while. And the problem is they put chemicals in that stuff. Boy, you start eating that. Oh, I was going to town with it. Next thing I know, I was halfway down. Next thing I know, I was further than halfway down. I kept going. And next thing you know, man, I done ate the whole daggone Ben and Jerry's thing. And I knew something bad was going to happen. So I got like this really bad headache the next day. And it took me back to this theory that someone put forward, some doctor, researcher, somebody put forward, where they basically said that because the cow is a mammal and its genes are so closely related to ours, that eating meat and eating dairy actually passes pathogens and viruses to human beings. And there's some that can withstand, the acidity of the stomach lining. And so that the common cold, the flus, the viruses, that a lot of these things are actually born from things that we eat. And it made sense. It was an interesting theory, but I found it interesting that I hadn't been sick in 10 years, and I ate a whole little tub of Ben and Jerry's ice cream, and the very next day I had this massive headache. So, it's possible that something got passed to me in that ice cream, and thank goodness that my immune system works like a beast because I do eat a lot of smoothies and different things. But I had a headache. And so, yeah, so I agree. I'm with you. I'm y'all. And if you don't want to give up your meat, reduce your meat. You know, just start heading in that direction. It's time we got to stop being ignorant. Listen to the research. Just start heading in the right directions. Totally agree with you on that, Sleepy. I'll probably get in trouble saying Ben and Jerry's, but that's what it was. That's delicious, though. It's delicious. You know, you gotta live a little. You gotta live a little, but just be careful with what you eat. Oh, Sister Liz said meat has feces in it. I didn't need to know that. I didn't need to know meat has feces, but yeah, but milk sure has blood and what does milk have? It has blood and it has pus. That did it for me. That's why I don't do milk, and I lie to myself and I say ice cream ain't milk on occasion, but it is nasty stuff. All right. Anything other crazy, alien, unknown stuff y'all want to talk about? We talking about ice cream. That's how I know the discussion is coming to an end. We start talking about some ice cream. A lot of great stuff out there, y'all. A lot of great, interesting things to research. I think I pretty much hit the bits that I was digging into that I wanted to talk about. Let me see. But Oak Island is good. Look into Oak Island. There's another one on the History Channel I don't watch. What is this called? That might be interesting. It's called this one. Pirate Treasure, Knights of the Knights Templar. If anybody watches that, let me know what you think about that. I saw that and I was like, you know what? That looks like one that might be interesting to watch. So I might check into that, you know, leading down this whole Templar. You know, why are the Templars interesting to me? Because they spent all that time all over the Middle East grabbing treasure. You know, they grab something because it's gold and they have no idea that this little thing that they grabbed actually is some sort of artifact from Sumeria or wherever. You know, it was gold. And I don't think the Sumerians had much gold of anything, but all that ancient history, you know, is going to be buried somewhere. It's going to be a treasure chest somewhere. So I think it's certainly something interesting to pay attention to. So anyway, all right. Listen, guys, it's been a lot of fun. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me, talking a little crazy stuff. Those are the little rabbit holes I've been going down. And always keep your mind open. You know, don't let people tell you that you're crazy, you know, unless there's definitive fact proving that it's false. To me, anything's plausible. You know, embrace the fact that we are probably the dumbest species in the universe. That every 10 years we realize how little we actually knew about everything. And if you can kind of embrace that truth, then it'll open your mind to expand and think about new things. And don't be ignorant. Somebody gives you a theory, you know, let it just listen to it. You know, don't talk down to ignorant to people, because we really don't know. And some of the dumbest people in history are always the ones who think they knew. You know, they knew that lead was good. Let's make toys out of lead. They knew that smoking tobacco didn't cause lung cancer. You know, they knew all these things. DDT was safe. You know, we don't know. And half the stuff that we talk about, we don't have the technology to not know we don't know. So, you know, be nice to people. You know, be nice to people. Be nice to your crazy people. Why? Because crazy people makes life a hell of a lot more interesting. Anyway, listen, great hanging out with y'all. Hey, y'all have a great day. Love y'all to death. Bye.